We are talking about 4 tips for Sunday school practice.
4 tips for Sunday school practice. So we practice every single week. Mm-hmm. Every Sunday morning we come in and we practice before, well before Sunday school, before church and everything. And then there's other practices that happen after that.
Sure.
Music practices and stuff. But ours is the first one.
Yeah.
And it's at 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30. And so, and it's about 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes. And so we do that every Sunday. Now, I know that a lot of Sunday schools there's different dynamics. Every Sunday school is different. And I know that some Sunday schools can't practice due to logistics.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Space.
And so, but I just thought it would be kind of cool to share what we do. Sure. And maybe somebody can apply it somewhere, even if it's an event or something. Yeah. Maybe you can't do it on a weekly basis like we do, but you could apply some of these ideas. So
absolutely.
So we just want to, I got a little tiny bit of alliteration in there. 4 tips for Sunday school. You see that?
I see it now.
But anyway, so we wanted to provide kind of what we do, and there's always that balance between, getting a script or getting something like this just perfect, and then operating under the time constraints that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You only have a certain amount of time available.
Right.
And so the balance is kind of that sweet spot between, like, we want to have a really solid plan, and, we write scripts.
Yes.
And we have a solid plan, and they're bullet-pointed scripts. Mm-hmm. But also we want to leave room for creativity, and because that's what we're all about. So let that creativity flow. But I think that it can fall too far one way or the other if you're not careful.
Yep.
Especially in the Sunday school world, probably more so on the creativity side, the ad-lib side. It could probably fall too far that way more often than the other way.
Absolutely. And I'm very guilty of this. So I could definitely fall into that much more. Yeah.
So anyway, we just want to kind of like what our practice is really about is it is about practice. And we're going to go through some of these tips, but it's really about the collaboration of the team, so that we can ad-lib and all of that.
Sure.
So the first thing that we typically will do on any Sunday, well, let me back up really quick, is we used to actually practice at 8:00. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
We would practice at 8:00. Yeah, it was. But we would practice at 8:00. And here's the dynamics that were different is, and maybe, I don't know if this was better or worse, but back then, we did it some when we moved up here, but for the most part, that was when we set up every week.
Yeah.
Every Saturday night, and then we took down every Sunday.
Yep.
So our scenes were pop-up, But we would meet at 8. And then our team, we had a team of, I think, roughly 8 people or something. Our team was not, like now we have like a roster, of 30 people, and we rotate through those people. Back then it was like you were on for a whole theme.
Absolutely.
And then if you wanted a break or something, then you could get a break the next theme.
Yeah.
So, and we usually, those
themes... Wait, people could get breaks? Yeah. Why wasn't I told it?
Some people could get breaks. But, and those themes back then were like usually 13 weeks, a quarter, which is typical. And we've moved to, typically our themes now are 16 weeks. Yeah. But we would practice at 8 in the morning, so we had about an hour practice. And then there was other things that happened at 9. And so we could actually practice like the whole thing.
We went, I do remember going through that.
Yeah, we kind of went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then there was, I had a small group that we actually met at 7:30 in the morning before the practice. We met at 7:30 and to brainstorm the next week. Yeah. And so we would brainstorm ideas and everything. And then it was hard because then you try to get your head back in the game for that week. This one. And so I experienced that. Okay, magic and disaster, right? Mm-hmm. So a few weeks ago, I don't think this has ever happened to me. I mean, I've made mistakes all the time, of course, but I don't think this has ever happened to me. So I had flown somewhere, and so I had been writing scripts, like way out ahead. Yeah. I had been writing scripts. And so I'm writing stories and stuff, and I remember I was on the airplane on Saturday evening or afternoon flying home, and I was writing script. I wrote like 3 on the airplane ride. So I was writing all these scripts. So then Sunday we get there, we do our practice and everything. I'm there, and I get up to do the intro for Bible story. Mind block. I could not remember what the Bible story was. At first I said Daniel, and I was like, that is not it. And my son was running, Adrian, he was running the AV, and he looks at me, he's like, no. And our timer thing doesn't say what, it just says what's next. It doesn't say what the Bible story is. And I could not, I actually had to pull my phone out on the stage and look up the script, because it was bad. There's a disaster behind the scenes right there. Well, it wasn't behind the scenes; it was on stage. But I could not, because I had all these Bible stories floating around in my head from writing, and so it was bad. And I still don't remember what it was. It wasn't Daniel. I know that.
It was David.
Yeah, probably. I couldn't remember, but that was bad. But anyway, so we have the practice because some of it is about what I have always dreamed of is taking each segment and it being just stellar, top notch. And we've talked about that before, but like you still only have 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever for your segment.
Sure.
But as if it was the only thing that you were doing and making that epic, Yeah. And so we don't do that. I mean, we sometimes we do, but we don't do that as a general rule every Sunday. I wish we did.
Yeah.
And was what we're striving for.
Sure.
But that's kind of, I guess, where the whole idea of practice comes from.
Right.
That's why we practice, is so that we can make things awesome.
Yes.
And do something cool.